Guys, we have a big breaking news coming out when it comes to nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. US strikes will target anybody, anywhere in drug trade. Now, that's coming out from US President Donald Trump. He's putting out this message. We have tons of new information coming out. It's not only Venezuela, but he's sending a message basically to the Americas and possibly, who knows, Mexico. So Colombian President Gustavo warns, do not threaten our sovereignty because you will awaken the jaguar. Attacking our sovereignty is to declare war. All right, so things are really escalating right now. We're going to see what's going on here, guys. Before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters, a prayer request, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. And for those of you that want to help and support this channel, we do have the Cash App link and the PayPal link in the comments box and also description box. Thank you again for your support, guys. Again, follow me on YouTube. We almost at 100,000K. We've been stuck in 80,000. We're like 17,000K away. If you can, hit that subscribe button, guys. Hit that subscribe. Share this video on your platforms, on your website. Let's get this video, shared to many people out there. Thank you again for your support. So, Colombian leader, he's not pleased. He's not liking what Donald is saying. So, Gustavo Petro, he warns, do not threaten our sovereignty. Do not, do not talk to us like that, because you will awaken the jaguar. Ooh, okay. Attacking our sovereignty is to declare war. Now, Mexico is also sending a message. Here's another one, breaking news. A U.S. official tell PBS the U.S. military struck the boat on September 2nd 4 times. Twice to take out the 11 on board. Twice more to sink the vessel. Man. Wow. They really hit that thing multiple times. So we're going to focus on this one here. Donald says any country involved in this drug operation to the U.S. is subject to attack. All right, so let me just pull up the information here. Once again, very important news that's coming out. Check out the videos I posted today. There's a B-52 bomber that flew over Venezuela. I think flew over Venezuela. So, yeah, check out those videos, guys. All the link will be in the description in the comments box. It says here, U.S. President Donald said Tuesday that the next stage of operation against suspected gang operation will include land-based strikes targeting anyone involved in the trade, no matter where they are located. Man. Donald is not messing around. We're going to start doing those strikes on land. You know, the land is much easier. And we know the routes they take. We know everything about them. We know where they live. We know where the bad ones live. And we're going to start that very soon. Donald told reporters during a cabinet meeting at the White House. Now, I did post a video. And again, notifications were not sent out. Many of you did not receive my notification. The platform is not putting out notifications like that. But I did post a video late last night that there was going to be a 2 p.m. meeting. And this is the one. This is the update. Anybody that's doing that and selling it into our country is subject to attack. Now, remember, guys, at the very beginning of January, at the very beginning of 2025, the U.S. sealed the border, but something else was going on. MQ-9 Reapers were all over the place near Mexico airspace and the Caribbean, all over the place. So the U.S. military has done their homework, where these people are located, where they bring in their stuff, their facility. These MQ-9 Reapers has been taking pictures of all their movements. All right, so MQ-9 Reapers is an unmanned drone, very, very expensive drone that just flies over countries and take pictures, snap pictures and stuff like that. It says here, asked by a reporter if that means targets would be limited to Venezuela, the US president said, no, not just Venezuela, but added that the country that has been the focus of the president's repeated threat has been very bad. The US president has authorized strikes on target that he and his senior officials have claimed are linked to the gangs, but known strikes have so far been limited to sea-based targets, including boats and submarines. Now, I live in the state of Florida, and there's a lot of those man-made submarines that comes from the Americas, like the South. And you have the, it's not the Air Force. I'm sorry, guys. I'm having a blank right now. Well, you have the military out there that patrol the sea, and they be stopping those man-made submarines. Inside is a whole bunch of drugs. So it says here the U.S. president has vowed to begin strikes on land-based targets as he significantly increases U.S. military forces in Latin America amid a standoff with Venezuelan leader Nicolas. The U.S. president has demanded that Nicolas relinquish power as he carries out strikes on ships that he says are ferrying drugs to the U.S. amid speculation that he could soon order a military intervention in a Latin American nation. The U.S. Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, and the U.S. President administration have come under fire, for particularly over an incident in which U.S. forces launched a follow-up strike on the wreckage of a vessel that had already been hit, reportedly taking two. And it says here both the White House and Pentagon have sought to distance Hegseth from that decision, which some lawmakers have said could be a war crime, instead pinning the blame on the admiral who directly oversaw the operation. We only just begun striking these boats and putting these gang at the bottom of the ocean because they've been poisoning the sleeping giant people, Hegseth said during a Tuesday cabinet meeting. Now, a lot of people is going to be like, that's messed up what the U.S. did to them. Nah, you know what's messed up? 50 up to 70,000 sleeping giant citizens a year are passing away from overdose from the stuff that those on the boats bringing into our sleeping giant country. That's messed up. It is a war going on within our sleeping giant. 50 up to 70,000 a year sleeping giant citizens are passing away from these products. Everybody goes really sad when it comes to these boats, but nobody's paying attention when it comes to visiting like these Pennsylvania, like going under the bridge. You see a lot of those people, again, addicts. They need help. Our sleeping giant country is being poisoned by the stuff that's coming from the Americas, the South. Both the White House and the Pentagon have sought to distance. We already know that. We only just begun striking the gang boats and putting these gang at the bottom of the ocean. Now it says here we had a bit of a pause because it's hard to find boats to strike right now, which is the entire point, right? Deterrence has to matter, Hegseth added. Now, earlier on Tuesday, the Pentagon Press Secretary Kingsley insisted that the strike were legal. The operations are lawful under both U.S. and international law, with all actions in compliance with the law of armed conflict, she told a news conference. Pete Hegseth backs follow on strikes. Wilson also repeated the White House assertion that Admiral Frank Bradley who now leads the U.S. Special Operation Command, made the decision to restrike the gang vessel, saying that the senior Navy officer was operating under clear and long-standing authorities to ensure that the boat was destroyed. Now, any follow on strikes like those, which were directed by Bradley, the secretary 100% agrees with, she added. Now, Wilson spoke to a friendly audience with dozens of journalists who refused to sign a new restrictive Pentagon media policy earlier in the year, barred from the event. So you have the U.S. Commander-in-Chief Administration insist it is effectively at war with alleged gangs and began carrying out strikes in early September on vessels it says were transporting the product, the drugs, a campaign that has so far left more than 80 gone. Now, look, guys, here's the thing. Our sleeping giant country is filled with drugs. And I used to live in Newark, New Jersey, and I was a big addict. I was a big time addict. I mean, it came to a point that I almost overdosed. I was in the bathroom and I fell down the ground, and my heart was racing, and I felt like that was it. You know, the experience I felt, it felt like, you know how the doctor removed their glove and, you know, the hand glove. It felt like my spirit and the body was trying to separate. That's like near death experience that I felt, and it was painful. And I prayed in that floor. I was like, God, forgive me, give me a second chance, ease my heart. My heart was pumping, it was beating really quick because of the stuff I took. I got up, I made it up for some reason, and I looked at the mirror. I was pale. I was pale. I mean, it looked like I just woke up from a coffin. When I opened the door, my friend saw me. He's like, "You're gonna have to leave my house." So I mean, it was that bad. It was embarrassing. I mean, everybody was doing it in there, but it was an embarrassment. A lot of these product came from the southern region, and so again, that was my BC time. I accepted Jesus as my Lord and Savior. I've been clean for 20 plus years. No cigarettes, no beer, no nothing, just coffee and water. And I give thanks to the Lord for giving me a second chance. For those of you who are addicted to drugs, if you need any help or you need any help to quit smoking cigarettes, email me. My email is in the description box. I could give you some heads up. The way I did it is stay busy, stay working, stay in the Word of God, stay in prayer. All right. If you stand still, you're going to be thinking about nicotine. You're going to be thinking about all these things because your body's craving for it. You have to stay busy, maintain busy, and stay in prayer. All right. So it says here, you have the left, the senator, have slammed the September 2nd. See, I despise these people because they never been through what I've been through. Look, I'm glad that Donald's doing what he's doing because I lost a lot of friends. And I have a lot of friends who are in rehab. But you have these Looney Tunes like the left. They don't think about the sleeping giant that passed from overdose. They don't think about that. They don't. They don't. The left have slammed the September 2nd strikes with Jackie Rosen and Chris Van Hollen saying that the incident may be a war crime. Nah. A war crime is you have many, many parents hugging the casket of their loved ones that have passed from the product that came into our sleeping giant country. Shame on you to the left. It says here Donald has deployed the world's biggest aircraft and an array of other military assets to the Caribbean, insisting they are there for counter operation. Regional tensions have flared as a result of the strike and the military buildup, with Venezuela leftist leader Nicholas accusing Washington of using the operation as a pretext for imposing regime change in Caracas. Nicholas, whose re-election last year was rejected by D.C. as a fraudulent, insists there is no, operation in Venezuela, which he says is used as a trafficking route for Colombian product against its will. And that's where we at right now. Boy, oh boy. When is the big game begins? Because I do believe there's going to be an imminent strike. It's going to happen pretty soon. The latest breaking news, well, you got some nations out there, Mexico and Colombia. They warning Donald, do not threaten our sovereignty, because you will awaken a jaguar. All right, I guess theirs is a jaguar, ours is the sleeping giant, the bald eagle. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. For those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, Luis Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. Till next time later. Peace.